All right. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to Some Random Guy Speaks. I am your host, Tony G. We're about to get started. Yeah, I have not made a video, or I should say, have not went live since Christmas Day. No, it was really slow here too. I'm out here now at the airport once again. I'm not at home and things. Yeah, I had some things to do. Even though I said I like doing the lives at home more so, but however, we're gonna work through it today. How is everybody doing? Morning to you all, and things. Give a special shout out to Omega and give a shout out to John, Doc, Sherry, and things. We got 1000 RR. Yeah, Billy Sharp, everybody. Billy Sharp. Stay sharp, Billy Sharp. And things. So, who else will give a shout out to? Yeah, so those are my main posse, I'm gonna have to get Billy Sharp in the mix or whatever. We got Big Kahuna. I haven't seen you in a while either, Big Kahuna. And I have not seen, let me see, besides Big Kahuna, Wallflower, the Canadian. Yeah. Wallflower man, you're more welcome to come back to the channel. I haven't seen you in a while either. I do talk a lot about, I acknowledge, I should say, people that rock with me, especially things like that. I know it's Sunday morning, but you see the topic down there today. This is about rich people, or I should have said rich Democrats that convince the poor that rich people are the problem why we as the people are poor. Now, there's some truth to that, though. There's some truth to that, right? And we're going to go over it. In fact, I got a list here on the top 50 richest Democrats, right? They claim that taxing the high earners, right, is a way forward. Maybe these guys should take a closer look at home, right? We're talking about the 50th wealthiest Democrats list. And this is coming from Celebrity Net Worth. And we're going to go ahead and look into it. So while I wait, and then we're going to talk about mass deportation. We're going to talk about that as well. We are talking about the top 50 richest Democrats, right? That's what we're talking about today. Yep. So we're going to get into it. Like I said before, I know it's a little early, and if no one shows up, I'll always treat this as a video. The show must go on, ladies and gentlemen. The show must go on. I also apologize about the audio on my mass deportation live that I did on Christmas Day. It was about maybe 30 minutes or more of just heard music. And they didn't hear me speaking, and I got a very good reason why that happened. So I wanted to put that out as well. Apologize about this. This is new for me, but I'm still tunneling through, still making progress, learning my errors of my ways, with technology. A lot of learning curves, but I didn't let that stop me in things. What helped me out with these learning curves is because I have a tech background, and I'm sure I could, a lot of the stuff I could figure out, And what I'm going to say, John Paddock, I was going to get back on you on that because I have watched it for what you referenced. You told me to watch in regards to Mark, what's the guy? I said, I'll call him Mark A. and the Joe Rogan experience and things like that. But I did listen to it, and I plan on listening to it again to make a live as you suggested. And I can take suggestions as well. Whatever live you want me to talk about, I will do that as well too, and things. So yeah. So look like we're just gonna go ahead and go down through it. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the richest. This is the 50 richest Democrats. Now, before I go down the list, this is hypocrisy 2.0, right? The Democrats have always convinced the poor that the problem are rich, rich people, right? And Republicans, right? This is the two things. I've been hearing this lie all my life, ever since I was a child, about how great the Democrats really are. Talking about the Democrats right now, how wonderful they are, and how they so much against the anti-establishment, and how they're for black people and other people and gay people and all this stuff, minority groups and all this other stuff. So I've heard this about Democrats, demo rats all my life, right? And we're going to expose right here today in regards to the hypocrisy that is going on regards to the Democrats, right? We're going to expose the hypocrisy, right? And I'm going to talk about the mass deportation once again as well. So it's going to be a twofer and things. I may just go ahead and cover the mass deportation first and then get into the 50 richest Democrats, because I think it's something that people should be made aware of. 50 richest Democrats. And people don't realize this, but you have way more people that are rich billionaires and millionaires, right? You have more billionaires, especially, that are Democrat. And a lot of them, and we're gonna go down the list, and we're gonna talk about it, right? Because it's important. Now, anybody that know about the history of the Democratic Party, shame on you. I did a video about it, kind of skimming over some things. It was like a quick short, but it explained about how the Democrats, since they've been created around the 1820s, I think 1828, somewhere around there. Don't quote me, somewhere around there, when the Democrats was created. They were created, and this is one of the main reasons they were created. And not only when their party was created, they were for slavery first and foremost. In fact, by the early 1800s, the Democrats were formulated, because really at that time there was an only party, and these are the people that were involved with slavery. These are the people that was involved with Jim Crow, right? This is the one that was in, when we start going down the list. Your Jim Crow, right? This is where all this have been birthed out of, right? Because you had slavery first, Ku Klux Klan, Night Riders, right? The Night Riders, I believe it was before the Ku Klux Klan, then Ku Klux Klan, then you had Jim Crow, segregation. All that came along in the Reconstruction period after the abolishment of slavery. Had to go down in the history a little bit, right? Because we know that the Republican Party, they were formed shortly after, let me see here, 1854, I believe, for the Republican Party. But at any event, I got it on my video, so much information to remember. But they were really designed for the Republicans to offset the spread of slavery, because they were spreading this phony ideology out west. So bringing up a little bit of history before we go further, these demo rats are the main culprit. And one thing I really don't like about a lot of liberal whites, because they really are disingenuous. Yeah, it never fails me, man. I mean, as an Uber driver, I have picked up a lot of liberal rights, and tell me why they always bring up about race. They always paint themselves as being the nice guy, the cool guy. We can never have a regular conversation. And I'm always, if I were to put a bet, if I was a bet man, I would win $100 every time. They always bring it up to try to appease to me or something. And I know what's going on, but it's like with the the liberal whites, they always bring up race all the time, every single time. They just can't help it, and they just look foolish because I'm over here now. I never call them out on it, but I know when people try to have short talk conversations, you know what I'm saying? But it's like they don't really understand the hypocrisy the state of hypocrisy that they are actually in. They really are. You know what I'm saying? So um I'm just waiting right now, but I'm just kind of talking about the DMs right now and things like that. Greetings to the room, this one person, which I will find out. Well, he just left. Okay, no problem. So we're gonna go down to the list here, man, and we're talking about the richest Democrats. And I could do one too, which is the richest Republicans, you know, and we could talk about that as well. We could talk about that as well. But right now, we're going to be talking about the richest Democrats right now. And, I stay on the Democrats because we know their nasty background history. Now, let's go ahead and talk about mass deportation. I'm going to switch gears a little bit. I'm talking about mass deportation. What's this guy that goes by his name of he goes by the name of trying to think of his name. He was just on a podcast. I was actually on his live, and I said that I was going to be I can't think of his name right now, man. What is it called? Something podcast. He got some videos on there or whatever. I got way more videos than he does, but I ain't gonna call him out. But the brother was on there, and I said he was talking about mass deportation, and he's on the live right now. I said I'll make one. I'm gonna do a live myself to rebuttal what he has going on. So he's talking about how the fact, that since Trump is going to send the military and ICE into these cities, he was really talking about California. He was talking about how bad it's going to be against Gavin Newsom. So he was talking this type of crap, right? So my thing is simply this, man. And when guys, to me, when they get on these lives, they never acknowledge the questions. They just ramble on with stuff, right? And I'm more of a gauging person myself, and like I said, I do it too. But when I do it, I will at least if somebody's asking a question, because you should be able to do. But to me, it's not even a conversation. It's like it's disingenuous. May as well just turn the chats off. And I really don't like visiting people's lives. I don't really like to do it very much because they're not very engaging. They don't really engage. Even when you have questions and stuff, they don't really engage back. Now, if the room is really, really busy, I can understand. You know what I'm saying? I know how it is though. At one time we used to have a lot of people in the room and stuff like that. But if you're not engaging with your viewers, that's an issue. That's a problem to me. And it's really disingenuous because they could ask the question. You can pause and be like in mid sentence or whatever, pause and say, hey, what it is, instead of getting on this soapbox and just be grandstanding or whatever. To me, I just find that disingenuous, But like I said, nobody's perfect, and I get it. But before I go into the 50 richest, as I stated before, the 50 richest Democrats, I said we're talking about this thing again with the mass deportation. Get that out the way first. And what I was trying to explain to the guy, when the sanctuary city started, it wasn't created with the people, or it didn't. And then also it didn't run through Congress. They just create laws now. This is what the Dems are doing, and you guys are not really seeing what is really going on. They have been just creating these straight up laws and mandates and shit like that without being ran through the people. That's why we call this unconstitutional. Sanctuary cities are unconstitutional. Allowing illegal migration, immigrants into this country is illegal as well. It's unconstitutional. That's why a lot of people are rocked to sleep. They don't understand how our system is supposed to work, because everything is supposed to be ran through Congress. It's supposed to go through the people and be ran through Congress. They did not do that. They just created sanctuary cities. They created this stuff. You know what I'm saying? They did this on their own. They've been setting up and making laws. This is why we have the problem right now. This is exactly what it is. So my rebuttal to the one guy, as soon as I figure out what his name is, because like I said before, you got to be able to talk about, because you got to be able to explain what is really going on. The stuff that I talk about is stuff that, because we're going back on the being a republic, as I always said, and we are going back to the Constitution. Sanctuary cities are unconstitutional. Illegal migration is unconstitutional. A lot of things are unconstitutional. And this is where the problem is. The people, the people is the number one culprit as the problem. Because, like I said before, and I'm going to keep saying it, people tend to get complacent, they get relaxed, they stop holding people voted in accountable. This is the major problem. There's no reason in the world that these politicians, right, should have, I'm talking about Republican and Democrat, should have gotten rich, right, off of taxpayers' money. This is also a violation of our Constitution, right, our constitutional government. And what they have done is that many of these politicians have aligned themselves with the military industrial complex, one of the largest lobbyists on earth. There's no reason in the world that we should have this type of foolishness. They are servants and public servants to the people. I always want to remind the people in regards to these particular politicians. We can't sit up in here and pretend that these people is all that, is all good, right? It's not all that and it's all good. They are the reasons. These, especially with the Democrats have had a history with blacks and white blue collar workers that they were for them originally, with the original message way before Barack Obama. What people didn't realize that they were getting rich. A lot of your wars and stuff like this that have gone on, guess who were getting rich? The lobbyists paid a lot of these politicians off to push policies, push laws, create wars, right? Make more money off of the wars, right? And Liv Cheney, right? Liv Cheney, she's not the only one, because we're gonna go down the list, right? These are neocon war hawks, right? That push war, right? They have lobbyists. They have, in order for them to be where they are, the 50 richest Democrats down the list. So let's go ahead and go through it. I don't think it's gonna get any better than this right now. So I'm tired of delaying you guys, stalling you out. People just popping in and popping out of the room. I'm gonna make this more of a video, then I'm out. Okay, the 50 richest celebrities, right? Or I say Democrat celebrities. These are actual Democrats, right? Teresa Hines, Carrie, right? Y'all know her. She's the actual heir to the Heinz ketchup empire, right? Teresa Hines. She married John Kerry. John Kerry is actually a Skull and Bones member, right? He belongs to a secret society. Most of them do. So Teresa Hines, she's worth $750 million, right? She's the one, of Portugal descent, right? Philanthropist, right? The heir businesswoman to the Heinz empire. Let's talk about it. We got number two, Jane Harmon, right? Her net worth is $500 million. Jane Herman, right, a former U.S. representative of California in the 36th district, a 36th congressional district, right? So she's worth $500 million. Herb Cole, right? Herb and then Cole, right? His net worth is $400 million, right? He's a American businessman, politician, right? So this is once again Cole, right? We got Jared Polis, right? Net worth $400 million as well. Jared Polis, right? An American politician, a philanthropist, entrepreneur who has a net worth of $400 million. We also have Al Gore. You guys remember him that been around, especially you Generation Xers, right? Al Gore is worth $300 million. He was that guy, right? He was a former senator, a vice president to who? We already know, Bill Clinton, right? He was the environmental activist, right? With this green scam stuff that's been going on, right? This is the guy right here, Al Gore, right? Squeaky clean, I can't do no wrong, Al Gore, right? $300 million. We also got John Kerry. John Kerry's net worth is $250 million. John Kerry, you know this guy. He was the one that was married to Teresa Heinz of the Heinz Empire, right? Ketchup, the ketchup people, right? Excuse me. John Kerry is an American politician and a diplomat whose net worth is $250 million, right? He's also has been a senator. That's why they get in these senator positions. They stay in there for eons. John K. Delaney, right? John K. Delaney net worth is $230 million. John Delaney is an American politician, businessman who has a net worth of $230 million. Mark Warner. Mark Warner net worth is he's actually first of all American politician whose net worth is $215 million. Maria Shriver, y'all know her. Maria Shriver is an American journalist, an author, the former First Lady of California, who has a net worth of $200 million. She was also formerly known as being married to, you already know, the governor, the ex-governor, Arnold Schwarzenegger. She was worth $200 million. Scott Peters, net worth $200 million. Jay Rockefeller, $160 million, right? Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis, right? She was worth $150 million. Hillary Clinton, $120 million, right? Nancy Pelosi, $120 million. Dianne Feinstein, before she passed away, was worth $110 million, right? Ariana Huffington, you know her, y'all know her, right? Let's go on and talk about it. $100 million. Anna Huffington, right? She's a Greek descent and the author of the Syndicate columnist, right? And a politician, right? Of the Huffington Report, I do believe. Robert F. Kennedy, right? At the time, he was worth, excuse me, $100 million. Ted Kennedy, $100 million, right? Richard Bartholomew, $85 million. Dean Phillips, $80 million, right? Elliot Spritzer, $75 million. Michelle Obama, $70 million. Claire McCaskill, sorry, $60 million. Victoria Reggie Kennedy, $60 million. Frank Luttenberg, $55 million. Ethel Kennedy, $50 million. Yep, here we go. Related to the Kennedys, of course. John Edwards, $50 million, right? John Corzine, $50 million. Lincoln Sheffey, $50 million. Sarah Rice, $40 million. Arlen Specter, $30 million. What's it? Chelsea Clinton. Oh wow, $30 million for Chelsea Clinton. Gavin Knucklehead Newsom, $30 million. Nita Lowry, $30 million. So the list is going on and on and on. There's no reason in the world that all these politicians, especially from the left, should be making all this money. Something is going on, because these are not the salaries of a politician. These are salaries of bought politicians, primarily from corporations, and the number one is the military-industrial complex. This is why people are sleeping. You Americans are sleeping right now. You guys should be more informed, because this is not a republic. This is a criminal democracy under the deep state. All of this should be challenged, which it is now. This is the reason why DOGE was created, the Department of Government Efficiency. Therefore, they cannot hide no more. Everything is on the table now, because after they figure out and find out where the budget, where all this money is going, which we're finding that out, and therefore we already know people like Nancy Pelosi. How do you make all this money? She have made this, the money. Nancy didn't make just 100. She's up in the billions. She's in the billions. She made her money off of what? Inside trading primarily, because she had to hook up all this time. That's what I'm saying, though. These people are corrupt. But what they have done is that they have convinced poor people that rich people are the problem why you are poor, right? This is basically what it is. The Democrats have done a very good snow job of convincing poor people that rich people are the reason that poor people are poor. Just think about that for a minute. They have done a very good job of convincing us, right? They really have. While they sit up here and make all this money, they're saying, well, Republicans are the problem because they are the ones that are greedy. They're the ones that get all the tax breaks. Let's say, well, wait a moment. What are the Democrats are doing? So we go back and look at the Democrats. They're doing the same thing. Most of these people are bought. That's what most people in America are not realizing. There's no reason in the world that any of these particular politicians, whether they're Republican or Democrat, being a senator, being in Congress, making all this money. How in the hell do you make millions being a senator or a congressperson? Think about that, right? Shit, I may as well go, but I understand why. You know what I'm saying? That's why I wouldn't get into politics, but I understand why. But this is exactly what it is. This is what's going on. We got to deal with this and talk about this, ladies and gentlemen. Because look where we are going right now. Look where we're heading. We're heading, but right now, like I said, this is what was in the past. We're in a new direction now. But in the past, it was looking very dark because they created what we call the deep state. The deep state been around for a very, very long time. Even before 1913, it went beyond that. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm over here going down the list of these rich Democrats and stuff like that. And, like I said before, this is a problem because they don't work on the behalf of the people. They work on the behalf. Government is, people think that government is just people in Congress, right? That's how they identify government. They don't realize that we, the people, are the government. And the people that are there are public servants. They actually are servants to the people. But what they have set this system up to be is that they are a servant to the corporations. This is what we call true fascism. Anytime corporations marry with government, right, in our congressional, this is a problem. This is fascism, right? Because if you notice, they've been creating all these laws, creating all these rules and mandates. It has not gone through the people, through Congress. That is the way that it's supposed to be. They have suspended the three branches of government. We have was an executive, which is the president. The way they got it set up, he can write laws and mandates or whatever, and don't have to go through Congress. This is why we're in the situation we are in today, right? This is what's going on. You can't sit up here and try to make this make sense and make it work when it hasn't gone through Congress. You want to sit up here and say that you're okay with the mass influx of illegals in this country? It didn't go through the people and it didn't go through Congress. That's why what they have done is unconstitutional. And actually, this is treason. This would incite a insurgency for what they have done. There's a few things that a lot of these politicians that have created would have already incited an insurgency, because the founder and fathers have already set this up with the Constitution. But once again, the fault is the people, not the leadership. The people are at fault. The people have gotten complacent. The people have always been an issue. That's why Benjamin Franklin said, if you can keep it, meaning if you can keep keep the Constitution, right? Which is freedom, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. If you can keep it. But I don't think the people can keep it. The people don't care about this stuff. They don't care about history. They don't care about any of this stuff. They just think they just vote for any type of president and then it's okay. This is the problem. You have to be involved. You have to hold your politicians accountable. You just can't go by off of propaganda or for something to think that that is the key. You have to be very, very much aware. I don't see people doing that. They just up here writing laws and not passing it through where it's supposed to be passed through Congress. You know, when bills become a law, if you know social studies, many of you used to take social studies back in high school, right? Junior high. We had a 3-branch government: executive, legislative, and judicial. We had 3 levels of, this is how the system's supposed to work. It's a checks and balance. But if they're up here just writing all these laws and doing whatever the hell they want, and they don't have to go through the people, a lot of the politicians aren't afraid of the people at all. They're not afraid of them, right? Because a lot of these politicians consider themselves to be our rulers, which is true. That's the problem. And the lobbyists, right, and corporations, right, they're in bed with who? The people in Congress, the government, right? They're all in bed with each other. They don't. When was the last time a politician had to listen to us about? They don't. They have more in common with Lockheed Martin, right? Raytheon, these military industrial. They have more in common with those type of people. That's why, if you notice, when I said like the 50 richest Democrats, this is how they get rich, ladies and gentlemen. They get rich off of lobbyists that set them up. I mean, their children are set up where they don't even have to work. And it's all off of taxpayers' money. Do you realize this? That we, the people, are paying these guys salary. Do you realize that, you guys may not know this, but a lot of these politicians have open-ended credit cards with unlimited limits. This is why the spending is out of control. You have to realize that our so-called government work on behalf of the people. They don't. And this is, create the spending is government. Government spending. This is the problem. Oh, John Paddock in the house. John, how you doing? How can a politician swear to the oath to abide by the Constitution and openly declare themselves a socialist? Bernie Sanders, AOC, etc. Exactly, though, John. Exactly. Got John in the house. I even forgot about you on that other thing, John. I've been watching it. with Mark A, you know. But yeah, John, but you're absolutely right. I'm gonna read it again. How can a politician swear to abide by the Constitution and openly declare himself a socialist? Exactly. Bernie Sanders, AOC, they don't. You know this though, John. They don't. They took the oath, but they don't believe it. Bernie Sanders don't believe it. AOC don't believe it. They don't believe that stuff. Not any of them. It's like taking the oath because they know the people are ignorant, John. You already know this. The people are ignorant to the fact, right? They are ignorant regards to the Constitution. They are ignorant to these politicians. They don't realize the politicians are supposed to work on our behalf, right? They're supposed to make themselves accessible. We're supposed to keep them accountable. A lot of us, we as the people, we don't keep our politicians accountable. That's why they're doing whatever the hell they want. This is why this created a deep state. It really did. You know, they were all rah by Bernie or whatever like that. Rah by AOC. In fact, I call these people anti-American. It's what they are. They are. You know this though, John. They're anti-American, and they aren't the only ones. There's a whole list of them. John Kerry is anti-American. Never liked that guy, right? You know, there's a list of them that are anti-American, right? Some of your Kennedys, right, are anti-American. Yeah, we're gonna go there. Just because you're a Kennedy and because you're a Democrat, don't make you right. The only one I have a respect for a little bit is RFK Jr. You know, I'm not really a big fan of a lot of his stuff, but I said I'll take him for us with the health thing. But he's in that boat. He's sort of kind of in that boat, though, to be honest, though, John. I mean, you know, RFK Jr. a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't see any of these guys upholding, like you said, you're going to take an oath, you're sworn in to uphold the Constitution. This is one of the main requirements, even for the presidency level. But they have not successfully have done that. None in they, you know, like I said, JFK, RFK, senior, present company not included, though, you know, was what they have done a lot of right trying to get the country back after they found out later, you know, what was really going on at hand, you know, as far as the Kennedys, RFK and JFK, and things like that. So that's another whole story. But yeah, man, they have. That's the thing about it. The Democrats, and I can hang on them a little bit more because remember, because of the blue collar, right? They are the ones that have convinced us as the people, right? That rich people are the problem. Rich people, telling poor people that rich people is the reason that poor people are poor. There we go. That's exactly what it is. Bam. That's exactly what it is. They have done a very good job of convincing poor people that rich people are the reasons that poor people are poor. Talking about the Dems right now, right? In things. This is what they have done. This is supposed to be the group of of tolerance. They are less tolerant than more tolerant. The party of love, the party of acceptance, right? This is the one that's for the blue collar, right? And a lot of my family members that voted Democrat all their life, they were Democrats, right? I mean, gave their heart, sweat, and tears going down there voting for the Democrats. Rah, rah, rah. They're for the poor. They're for the blue collar, right? The union workers and all the rest of this stuff, right? All this stuff came on that side, right? They have done a very good job convincing them, though, John. Done a very good job of convincing them. And this is where we are at today. You know, this is where we are at today, man. I went over here by talking about Teresa Hines, Carey, married Jim Carrey, the Hines heiress. You know what I'm saying? That's worth a lot of money. Talked about Al Gore. Talked about John Kerry, her husband, John K. Delaney, Mark Warner, Maria Shriver, married to Arnold Schwarzenegger. John says, I'm driving, so I gotta listen. Gotcha. I understand. Jacqueline Kennedy. Look at this. Hillary Clinton, Nancy Pelosi. What's the woman? Ariana Huffington of the Huffington Post, right? Dean Phillips, Ed Spitzer, Michelle Obama, Barack Obama, right? Yeah. John Edwards. All these people have made a lot of money. Gavin Newsom, Dianne Feinstein, before she passed away, a lot of them on the dim side, the left, are very, very rich. And that's what I'm trying to convince the people that a lot of them that voted Democrat in the first place, a lot of them are rich. Yep. Gabby Gifford, rich. Mark Kelly, rich. Right? Tipper Gore, rich. We already know who Tipper is related to her. Al Gore, right? And that his wife, rich, right? All of them are rich. Go down the list, right? Rich, rich. Jimmy Carter, rich. We can go far back as old Jimmy, rich. Yep. Rosalind Carter, Jimmy Carter's wife. They're all rich, rich. These are all rich politicians, rich. They have made all their money, all their fortune off of our ignorance. They are the ones that are rich. They have empowered themselves of being rich, aligning themselves with the military industrial complex and a lot of these other corporations out here, Monsanto, Bayer, Pfizer, Big Pharma, all this other stuff. It all to Food and Drug Administration. It all aligns itself all together. It all aligns itself all up together though, man. This is why the situation has spiraled into this big beast of a deep state right now. We as the people have to unite. We have to hold our politicians a lot more. But right now, since we already have the government of, you already know, we have the government of efficiency, right? That's what we have right now. And things, and they're doing a pretty fairly decent job of exposing corruption. They're the ones that are doing the forensics right now. And with a person like Elon Musk, that a lot of people seem to hate. Now, there's a lot of people that like him too. It ain't always on one side. But the good thing about this is that he's able to, the Department of Government Efficiency, he has the ability with his intellect as well, where he can go down through our Congress and our government and find out where the spending is. The spending and the out of control spending that they have set themselves up in as an entitlement. A lot of these politicians right now, because they've been doing this crooked, illegal activity for so long, they are in a place of entitlement right now. They are absolutely entitled. They feel as if they are entitled. They feel as if they should be receiving something for nothing. Many of them don't even work until it's election time. They sit up here in this government. They sit up in these ivory towers, right? Passing laws and ruling, trying to rule over us. Look at all these regulations and stuff like that. We got big bloated government with all this government spending, right? Up the wazoo, right? And it's the taxpayers, right? It falls back on us. You know what I'm saying? Not only do we have to deal with that, we also have to deal with these illegal tax situations. The taxes, right? Try to tell us about paying taxes is lawful. It's not. It never was meant for Americans to be sitting up here paying taxes. Taxes have never been lawful. It's unwanted. And excuse me. And it should have never been. It never went through Congress. It never went through people. The Federal Reserve Bank. I said this before many of times. This was also created 1913 in secrecy, and they passed it on to the people, and the people were asleep. The people fell asleep, and they passed this law. Now people are convinced that taxes is lawful, and it's not. It's unconstitutional. Tax is unconstitutional. That's why you can be able to challenge your IRS, simply with this, because the IRS is a entity. It doesn't work on the behalf of the government. Fuck paying the taxes, because here's the thing about it. I suggest that you do your homework, but there's people out there don't pay taxes because they know the system. It ain't a loophole. It is what it is. It never got passed through Congress, which is through the people. It never got. It's unconstitutional. How can you sit up here and justify paying taxes is lawful? That's a brainwashing mechanism. We have been convinced that paying taxes is lawful, and it's not. This is another issue, another serious issue. And I'm going to cite other ones as well. That is another one. Paying taxes is unlawful. What else is unlawful? We have the legal migration or legal immigrants that's in this country. That's unlawful. You know, that it's already in our Constitution. You must be an American citizen. You have to be vetted. You have to go through the proper pathway of citizenship. You just don't send people over the border. This is another issue. What else is unlawful? We can go down the list. There's a slew of unlawfulness that's been going on in our country. Why is it that our own government, supposedly government, so-called government, is not printing the money? And why don't we have any type of gold and silver in the circulation? Why isn't it gold and silver is backed by the dollar? Why is it that they're allowed to print fiat currency, right? These are all the questions. Going right down the list. Why is it that these politicians, right, have made other mandate laws, right, that it has not been passed through Congress? And this is the thing. Taxes, as I mentioned before, they taking our money. How is it that the 1934 Gold Act was passed? It didn't go through the people. Our Wasn't Franklin Delano Roosevelt, wasn't he a Democrat? Yes, he was. And he was a rich one right there, related to Teddy Roosevelt, right? You know they were cousins, right? Teddy Roosevelt, RDF, the FDR. I mean, these guys right there were cousins, right? So how have the Gold Act of 1934, how did this get passed, right, without our permission, where they said that gold and silver be confiscated from the people? They actually set up a law, ladies and gentlemen, back in 1934. Google it. It's called the Gold Act of 1934. Go and pull that up and look at it for yourself. This is exactly what ended up happening. They wrote the Gold Act of 1934. This never got passed through Congress. I want to know why, right? This is what ended up happening. The Kennedys try to put us back on the gold standard. We know what ended up happening with JFK and RFK Sr., right? And they're not here no more because they were trying to make a correction, putting us back on the gold standard, moving us away from the central bank, which is Federal Reserve. That's why they're not here no more. There we talk about Nixon. He was a Republican, but we talked about it. He put us back took us off the gold standard again. And like you said, he could have been blackmailed or whatever the case may be, but this is what ended up happening because these are powerful people. So what else has happened though outside of Congress? It didn't go through it didn't go through the people? You know, it did not go through the people. How is it that talk about Clinton stuff? We're going fast forward a little bit. Clinton, right? Clinton, Bill Clinton. Y'all know that dude ran up under as a Democrat back in 1993, right? Ran for the president of the United States and won, right? This is the dude that set up NAFTA. How did NAFTA get passed? It should have went to the people through Congress. NAFTA got passed on its own. Clinton did a lot of things to undermine the Constitution and to remove the Constitution. So therefore, people that are the president, or at least for the Dems and the Rhino Republicans, they can just set up laws for the after his after his 8 years in office. Anybody else that go in there, Bush is went in there shortly after, right? And they created more laws again. Can someone say Homeland Security? That was also passed without the people's permission. They had a big, thick ass manual, like a damn medical book for Homeland Security. I remember when that thing first was put on the desk and it was signed without even being read. You think a lot of these politicians read stuff? We were shown that with just what they were trying to do with this 1,500-page thing they were trying to pass right now. They're trying to get that off. They were trying to get that off with that 1,500 pages, you know. And then if it wasn't for Doge, the politicians, they would have signed on it. How do you sign on something and not read it? They don't read this stuff. This is why the pages must be condensed. They shouldn't have book shop manuals of laws that they're trying to pass. They do this on purpose because they know people are not going to read it. Right? This is what happened with Homeland Security. I've been walking down all of the things that people in Congress are supposed to be government, that's supposed to be our representatives. They have not done a great job at all. They didn't read through it. They don't care about the people in this country. It's all about them and them getting paid. This is all what it's about. This is why we in this space right now, right? If it wasn't for somebody like Trump that came along, and Americano, man, good morning to you, Americano. Sorry about that, Americano. Yeah, man, I saw down there. Yeah, Americano, ladies and gentlemen. All right, how you doing, man? I haven't seen you in a while. No, it's somebody else that I forgot to give a shout out to. Yeah, Americano. I remember you from before. And I do apologize, man. I didn't see your text. Saw John's. Yeah, but Americano. Got to get myself some better glasses. Yep. And good morning to you, Americano. Welcome to the channel on a Sunday morning. We're talking about real stuff because there's a lot of foolishness going on with that on these lives, man. And we want to talk about it again. And like I said, from the monetary system that was created without the people's permission and wasn't ran through Congress. There's a lot of other laws, NAFTA, right? Climate change, all this other crap stuff, all these type of things that have been passed. The Homeland Security have been passed. Look what we got in return. So they even set up and said that you got to give up your freedoms in order to be secure. Gee, where have we heard that from? From a fascist tyrant? That's where we heard that from. Like I said, every time TSA is illegal to the Constitution. I don't know about you guys, but going to the airport and getting checked and searched, this is nothing more than modern day checkpoint in Nazi Germany. That's what this reminds me of. You got your paperwork, you have to have your papers in order to go through checkpoint Charlie, right? Sound familiar? They may as well be wearing the Gestapo uniforms or whatever. TSA. That's what makes it how history repeats itself. When you don't learn from the past, you're doomed to repeat it. And that's what we're doing right now. It's repeating it. That's why I don't have a lot of faith in people. People right now are just sheeple. They just want to be led, and they're being led to the slaughter. I mean, I don't want to be a sheeple. I want to be an independent, true thinker. That's somebody that still believes in the Constitution. Instead of being lied to, we've been lied to, and we have been misled with this bullshit ass what we call government, because they don't work on the behalf of the people. They're supposed to work on the behalf of the people, but they don't. A lot of foolishness is going on. They have passed all these laws with this with this woke agenda stuff, that's anti-government too. I mean, I should say anti-American, because all this stuff that's been going on right now, ladies and gentlemen, this has been our problem. Our problem is the people have fallen asleep and allowed these people to be representatives that they have been doing the opposite. They've been passing laws, passing mandates. Look at the COVID situation. They put all these mandates to lock down and take people's constitutional rights away under threat of conversion. This is what they did. Threat of conversion. Threat with a whole lockdown, pandemic. That was another thing that they have taken away from the American people. It's the pandemic. The people went along with it because they were ignorant to the Constitution. That's why I always say, is it the fault of government or is it the fault of the people? Because really, if people realize that the people is the government, we wouldn't have these problems right now. We have these problems because the people, ladies and gentlemen, are the major problem. They always get complacent. They get lazy because they think they vote for somebody that everything is rah rah okay. Yay! They forget that it is our responsibility to hold these representatives, which is the people in Congress, accountable. And when they fail, we are to impeach them, get them out of there. You realize we have voter rights. You can impeach somebody that failed on the job of delivering to the people. This is for anybody. But are we doing that? The people that want people impeached are the representatives, but it's not an outcry of the people. All right, where are we going here? So yeah, so other than that, yeah, like I'm driving too. So if I don't see some of you guys' texts, that's okay. I know it's still early because I've been on this live for how long? Like yeah, damn near an hour already. Wow. Man, time sure does fly when you're having fun, man. I tell you. Well, yeah, man, it had to be said, man. It has to be said, ladies and gentlemen. It has to be said. Because I don't have, John, I don't have a lot of faith in the people because people will let you down every time, man. When you don't learn from the past, you're doomed to repeat it. I'm just here just to do stuff as a reminder, not to get up on here and grandstand, but when I want to do this, I want to talk about real issues and real things that are going on. And you guys gonna either hear it or not. I don't even care if I have zero watchers, zero viewers, because this has just turned into a video after it turned into a live. That's fine with me because information is more important for those that are going to listen. And right now, the way that the lack of participation for stuff like this lets me know that even if we go away from it, John, we're gonna end up going right back under the deep state eventually in time. Because the people are ignorant. The people, it's a problem. The problem in our society are people. They're the ones that created the government in the deep state in the first place. It's the people's fault. It's our fault. We fell asleep as the people. It's us that's the problem, not these other people. Not the. It's the. Should we blame the leadership, or should we blame the people? I say blame the people, because if the people wouldn't allow it, then the leadership would never. It would never be. But this poor leadership that we actually have, this is this is a problem with the people. And I know people don't like to listen to that, but it's the truth. I'm here to speak the truth. And the truth is, we know that we are in a time right now where the truth is unpopular, it's not liked, it's not welcome, but the lie is. This is why people can just sit around here and think that everything is okay as long as they vote for somebody, they're okay. No, we're not okay. Let you hold these people accountable, your representatives. Not just at the national level, it should be at the local level as well. We all have to get involved. That's why I've been citing this whole thing. The COVID, The lockdown, unconstitutional. Homeland security, unconstitutional. NAFTA, unconstitutional, right? Let's go ahead and talk about it. TSA, unconstitutional, right? We go right down the list. They're all unconstitutional. This is exactly what it is. Yeah, John, I see that you text something. I'm going to read it later because I'm driving as well, my friend. But yeah, it's unconstitutional. And I'm going to keep talking about this because this to me is far more important. Trying to wake the people up, getting the people to see without the Constitution, we have nothing in this country. Hey, John, I talked to a guy yesterday that was in my car. He is originally from Brazil. Brazil, yeah, he was from Brazil, you know, and his wife was from Romania. But the guy from Brazil, he was also a history buff. I was very surprised that he even knew about Andrew Jackson. We went down through there, man, the whole thing. And if not, he knew as much as I did. And he's from Brazil. A Brazilian know more about our government and our history in America than these Americans do, which is absolutely sad, John. Absolutely sad. The people think okay, I see what you have there. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go back and read as soon as I get parked. Yeah, John, this is the thing, man. This is what's going on, man. This is exactly why. I mean, I have talked to a lot more foreigners, John, that know about the American history better than American people. A lot of the American people don't know the Constitution, and I call them out on it. They don't want to know. They don't want to know. They think at the president level, that's it. If they really knew about the Constitution, they would be fighting right along with Trump if they really knew. But they don't want to know about the history in this country. They think taxes is lawful, which is also another unlawful, unconstitutional thing, is paying taxes. Look how many people that don't know that. They don't even know. I'm telling you, man, we are the people. I don't have faith in American people, man. I really don't. They have been rocked to sleep. They don't know the Constitution. They don't know the three branches of government, and they don't want to know. John, they don't want to know. It's just, they think that TSA is constitutional. You know, Homeland Security is constitutional. DOJ, CDC, Department of Center of Disease, and so forth. They think all these organizations are constitutional lawful. It's not, ladies and gentlemen. This is why I say, should we blame the we are divided over stupid ideologies as opposed to coming together as American people, because this is an American issue. We shouldn't be sitting up in here fighting amongst each other, being lied to. We should be informed. That's why I say the Constitution. This is about freedom, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Something got to be wrong. Is it wrong? You can't necessarily blame people coming over here to America. But America is the world. If it was a way that everybody come to America, they would. I don't blame them for wanting to come over here. But the problem is, once again, the American people themselves are lazy. They don't know about the Constitution, which to me is totally unacceptable. Totally unacceptable. We have to stand back here and deal with this type of stuff. Without the people, which is the government, you have nothing. We have nothing. This is exactly what it is. I know I'm gonna have to come back on this thought, man, because I know I'm getting closer to my destination, John. But I wanted to point this out, why we are in this situation right now. We absolutely have nothing. If the people of the United States don't believe in the Constitution, what would be the point of having an America? Because a lot of these people, if I were to shift them over into the third world, they'd be wanting and begging to come back to America. You don't know what you got until it's gone. Why wait till we get to that point when we can already be doing our thing, getting more knowledge, being around people that know what's going on, being informed. This is what it should be back to this though, you guys. I'm about to go and drop off my people. And yeah, I'm gonna come back to this soon after, probably about 30, 40 minutes or so, but I'm coming back to this point. Okay, guys, I'll see y'all later. Peace.